Greetings from the Witch House to all devotees of the disturbing, connoisseurs of the creepy, and aficionados of the awful. I am your host, Dr. Gallow. Join me tonight for another original tale of terror, and subscribe for more of the same. Now, on with the frights.
The faint yet welcome smell of leaf smoke from a seasonal bonfire danced on the crisp night air. Giant, luminous skeletons, broom-riding witches, and countless glowing pumpkins adorned the surrounding streets, themselves alive with all manner of colourful characters. Devils and vampires ran alongside superheroes and wizards, whilst hockey-masked maniacs creeped among the houses for sweets and treats. Cowboys and kitten princesses played jokes on one another with glee. Tim watched the other children run around with an excited buzz as he made his way through the night. Their elation was obvious but not infectious. He was too preoccupied to enjoy himself. They paid him no mind anyway as he continued down the dark, tree-lined avenue towards what had once been his home. It had been 1 year since the accident that had left him without his mother. 1 year since he'd last enjoyed a warm embrace or looked into her deep brown eyes. There had been no one to blame for what happened. It was an accident. Just one of those things. He was well looked after now, of course. There were plenty of other children to play with, and they were all treated with kindness and warmth. He wasn't unappreciative, but it was so hard to feel happy sometimes without his dear old mom to talk to, and even more so tonight. Halloween had always been their most special date on the calendar. They had always spent the days prior excitedly unboxing and putting up the decorations. A plastic pumpkin with a battery candle, the witch's welcome sign that went outside the front door, and many more. By the time the big night came around, their living room had always become a veritable dungeon, fit for any little ghoul or creature of the night that came knocking for a tasty treat. Later they would trick-or-treat themselves, gripping each other's hands tightly as they went, before settling down on the couch to snack and watch scary films, until the Halloween fun was over for another year, and it was time for bed. The previous year had seen the tail end of a storm that had battered the town for 3 days, with terrifying gales and unrelenting rain. Mum had insisted they wait until the local radio had given the all clear before they had taken to the streets. She had been very strict about that. It was pure chance that they had been walking under that particular tree when that particular big broken branch had finally given up its hold and snapped away, tumbling down toward the pavement as they passed underneath. Tim's sadness and longing for something to fill the hole she had left behind had driven him out this evening, back to his old neighbourhood. He just wanted to see something familiar on this, what had always been such a joyous night. And Halloween was a magical night too. He had read about its ancient roots and where the traditions had all come from. Special things could happen on Halloween if the circumstances were right. He dearly, desperately hoped that tonight was special enough. He turned the corner onto his old street and, looking toward his old house at the end of the row, he stopped, barely able to register what he saw. The lights were on inside. Someone, it seemed, was home. He ran then. The excitement and trepidation together were almost too much to bear. But he ran toward the light as fast as his legs would take him. Tears formed in his eyes, began to well and then streamed out and across his cheeks as he finally dared to believe. Quickly stepping through the open gate and clearing the lawn, he stretched out his toes and pushed himself up with his calves, gripping the sill, to peep through the glass of the living room window. Joyce sat in the once comfy chair, staring at the tiny blue row of flames in the gas fire. There were no decorations up this year. It just hadn't felt right without him. A year had passed since the branch had fallen and taken Tim away from her. A year of hurt she felt would never end. The hairs on the back of her neck pricked up, and she looked over to the window. For a brief moment, the sadness inexplicably melted away, and she felt comforted. Like wherever he had gone from this world, her little boy was okay. And maybe one day, she would be okay too. Maybe next year she would put up the decorations again. Tim would have wanted that.